In my recent Q&A, I was asked about thoughts on upcoming Star Wars projects, and one of the things I mentioned was how hard it is to be excited for any upcoming games because we know so little about them. Well, that all changed when Ubisoft dropped a brand new trailer for the upcoming Star Wars open world game during Xbox Games Showcase, titled Star Wars Outlaws. We had known about an open world game coming from Ubisoft for quite some time, but we had no information regarding the game until this big announcement. I've got more videos coming out in the future where I break down the gameplay and go through a lot of the other details we've learned about the game, but for the sake of this video, I'll just be going through the world premiere trailer and breaking it down. The trailer opens up during a space battle between the Empire and the Rebellion, letting us know when this game takes place, which is sometime during the Galactic Civil War. We're all very familiar with this era, but this game's story will be taking us to a different side of the galaxy, as we see later on. We get a brief glimpse of the Pike Syndicate, and then Han Solo frozen in carbonite, slowly being followed by Jabba the Hutt and Gamorrean guards on Tatooine, meaning that this game will take place between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I don't know how much, if at all, that this game's story will overlap or impact the larger conflict between the Empire and the Rebellion, but this is the same time period where many of the ongoing comics are set, so I wouldn't rule out a possible Easter egg or connection to maybe the Dr. Aphra or Bounty Hunters comic, since those stories definitely fit in more with the criminal underworld, which this game will focus on. We're introduced to Kay Vess, the main character of the game, in a cantina during a game of Sapak. Multiple alien species can be found, including a Gamorrean, a Twi'lek, a Rodian, a Quarren, an Aqualish, and an Ithorian, and Kay's companion Merkwall, named Nyx. The game ends when a pair of bounty hunters enter looking for Kay, which leads to blasters being fired in a quick escape by Kay on her speeder bike parked outside. As she flees through the streets, we get a brief glimpse at what I can only assume is Toshara, which is a new planet created for the game and will be one of the main locations that the story is set on. We get a look at the landscape of Toshara, and then a few other locations that as of yet are hard to put a name to. Once Kay gets back on board her ship, an EML 850 light freighter, we're introduced to Jalen, a human, and ND5, a commando droid. Jalen offers to help Kay, but based on her reaction, the two have some sort of past history working together. His mannerisms definitely resemble that of a scoundrel, so it'll be interesting to learn more about this character. This is followed up by multiple short sequences, showing Kay and ND5 working together, so the commando droid may end up having a larger presence in the game, although I doubt players will be allowed to switch to play as it. There's then them breaking into a vault of some sort, a speeder chase with Trandoshans, a rancor that based on the surroundings may be the same one underneath Jabba's palace, Kay coming out of hyperspace, a look at Kijimi, which will be one of the familiar planets included in the story, a look at Canto Bight on Cantonica, with what I assume is an antagonist standing out on the platform, another look at some pikes, including one that resembles Lam Pike from the Book of Boba Fett, except a scarred left eye, so it may be a new character. There's a few more quick action sequences, and then the trailer ends. At this point, it's hard to differentiate what we learned from the trailer and what information came out the following days, but I do know that seeing this for the first time got me very excited. Just like Star Wars Squadrons, seeing a Star Wars gaming trailer come out of pretty much nowhere, when we know so little beforehand, it really gets me excited for the game. I'm definitely looking forward to the freedom provided by the open world aspect of the game. I enjoyed some of the recent games a bit, but this one really allows players to make decisions for themselves, although that does mean that the players could end up having widely different stories, so it'll be interesting to see how much of this is considered canon in the end. The graphics look very solid, and there's a good variety of alien species that for the most part look very similar to their live-action counterparts. This doesn't exactly give us a great idea what the story will be, other than the focus on the criminal underworld during the Imperial era, but that's already enough to get me interested. What's your initial reaction to Star Wars Outlaws? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like the video, and subscribe to stay up to date on all Star Wars news. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.